This woman is elegantly reading a book in the park. Suddenly, a strange wind blew by. She pulled out the hairpin from her hair, thrust into one's own throat. At the same time, the people in the park were eerily immobile. It seems that everyone is leaving. On the other side, construction site contractor is talking. Last time someone jumped off a building, they lost 1 million. Civilization is another million. But there are still more than 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5, 6, 7, 8 million. Throwing down shepherd's purse and pork dumplings. The contractor is about to cry. Official announcement. Turns out this is a type of toxic gas. Smelling it can cause paralysis, suffocation, and hallucinations, leading to certain self-harm and catastrophic consequences. In other words, can make people commit suicide. This school in Philadelphia is also closed. A math teacher curled up and found his good friend, science teacher Mark, after school. Invited the science teacher Marco and his wife to their house, and Marco agreed to come to the train station. May, the daughter of the curly paper bullet, comes over. Wife is stuck in traffic and unable to pass temporarily. Let them take this train first, because they just left on their front foot. Another disaster has occurred in Philadelphia. Another gentle breeze blew by. The people on the street are all booked. Only one little dog kept barking. The police officer on the side took a gun and self-destructed. Then a person walked down from the parasitic car, picked up the gun. It's self-destructive again. The woman on the side walked over and picked up the gun. Curly on the train learned that Philadelphia had been attacked. Hurriedly called his wife and got on a bus heading to Yagjiatun in a panic. And the train suddenly stopped in a small town. The conductor said, "They have lost contact with the outside world. For safety reasons, can only stay here. This is a small place, there shouldn't be any danger." Everyone thinks so. The dilemma of this man flipping into the zoo, inducing lions to bite themselves. The lion didn't want to talk to him at first, but men insist on reaching out. Does the lion think I don't want face? So the man was divided into corpses. This was taken a few minutes ago at the Philadelphia Zoo. He's gathering at a tavern in Kiahen, watching this video in horror. Sudden TV shutdown. The lights in the room have also turned off. This power outage caused panic among everyone. One person led the escape. He immediately dispersed the birds and beasts. Drive all the way to the distance. No one is willing to bring Mark and others. Fortunately, there is a local man named Hutsaishu driving an off-road vehicle. He was willing to bring Marco and them, but then Curly Hair ran over with a serious face. He can't reach his wife anymore. My wife is on the bus heading to Yagjiatun. The car behind me happens to be heading to Yagjiatun to pick up my family. I can still sit alone. So he entrusted his daughter to Mark. I embark on the journey of finding my wife alone. Curly doesn't want to leave her daughter, but he must go. I didn't go too far. Curly and others saw the road ahead. There was a bizarre scene of collective hanging. Everyone was scared. Hurry to close all the ventilation openings. Don't let air in. It's still 100 secrets. I don't know when the roof was cut open. And then their car stopped. Next second, Curly Hair stumbled off the car, sitting on the ground. Pick up the glass debris around you and start cutting your wrist. On the other side, Mark and they also discovered the situation on the way. He picked up a telescope to observe. Found that the ground ahead was covered with corpses. Mark is very smart. When he asked Uncle Who to turn around and reach another fork in the road. Louis, a soldier in the army. The soldiers told them. His comrades committed suicide in that direction. Now there are only 2 other directions left. But then there were people coming from both other directions. So the other 2 deer also have dead bodies. What to do? They're trapped here. As the crowd gathered, Marco discovered a woman talking to young Jayatun's daughter. So I went forward and asked, "I want to ask if young Jayatuna has been infected." The little girl on the other end of the phone said, "Everyone outside has died." Then the little girl started talking nonsense. The result is self-evident. And Ziome guessed something, maybe her parents will never come back. He fell into Uncle Mark's arms and cried loudly. On the other side, communication between soldiers and local property managers. I learned that there is an empty city in the west that can be considered a safe zone. So everyone started packing their bags. Start heading west. Mark, they don't have any luggage. So Mark's group walked ahead. The large army slowly followed up. At this point, a gentle breeze blew by. The person in front suddenly settled down. The soldiers also started talking nonsense. It turned out that the terrifying gas was sweeping in again. He pulled out the matching gun from his waist. The gunfire has reached Mark and his team. Mark guessed it was poison gas. They want to go back and rescue. But what can I do if these people go? After all, he's a science teacher. His calm analysis may be due to the toxic gas released by plants. They have many people. The stimulating plants release toxic gas. There are few people on my side, not yet stimulated. But it's hard to say when it evolved into a person, and it can also stimulate the wind, which can bring poison gas. They want to run ahead of the wind. Watching a new wave of prestige sweep in. Mark, everyone ran away separately. Where can Krum run past the wind? They were overtaken by the wind. Just stand there like this. Like giving up resistance. Unexpectedly nature saved their lives. 2 boys ran with them, seeing the house. But I didn't expect a group of people to rush ahead of them. Next second, This man started the lawnmower, and then he lay on the ground. Turns out they were all lost in their minds by the gas. Mark and others can only change direction when they see it. They found another residence. I knocked on the door for a long time, but there was no response. I thought nobody was living there. Suddenly, the sunspot on one side noticed someone. The people inside won't let them in, afraid they might bring poison gas. Although Mark tried to explain, but it won't change anything. The two boys are very angry, start kicking the door. One is still trying to open the window. Mark couldn't even stop it. Such behavior ended the pull inside, expose a small crack, extend a gun head. There is also a gun head protruding from the window. That's it. Two boys received a box lunch. Xiaomei, where have you seen this battle? Already scared to tears. The three of them hurriedly left. Larry is really hungry. They saw another civilian house. Mark went to try his luck. Here he met an old woman. The old woman invited them to dinner, and promised to stay overnight. Before going to bed at night, the two of them just whispered a few words. As a result, the old woman walked over, asked a horse. But I'm not trying to steal something. Mark was stunned, busy to say no. The old woman said again, kill me while I was sleeping. Not finished yet. The old woman left immediately. The next morning, Mark wakes up, discovering that Uncle and Xiaomei are missing. He went downstairs to find it. As a result, she was misunderstood by the old woman for wanting to steal something. The old woman's popularity was so anxious that she asked Mark and others to get out. After cursing, he ran out. Standing by the grass, I don't know what I'm doing. Suddenly he stepped back. Mark saw and knew that something was not going well. That strange wind is coming again. He hurriedly returned to his room and closed the door. Who knew that the old woman was lying down? Nosebleed walked to the window. The next second, I crashed straight in. Strong wind pours into the room. Mark hurriedly ran to the bedroom. Blocked the door gap as well. He heard the voices of his wife and Xiaomei. Originally, my wife and Xiaomei were playing in a warehouse not far away. There is a pipe connected below these two rooms, so it's like transmitting a microphone. It sounds like it's right next to me. Mark asked the two of them to close the door and windows, and then sat down and spoke. Sooner or later, the wind will come in. Perhaps they have come to the end of their lives, but even if it's death, Mark also wants to stay by the old man's side. So he walked out, just swaying in the wind like this. Unexpectedly, the old man also walked out with Xiaomei. Disasters without lovers and emotions. Two people holding hands waiting for death. But after waiting for a long time, I realized that I was fine. So the poison gas has already passed. In a blink of an eye 3 months later, Mark and his wife adopted Xiaomei. A family of 3 is happy and harmonious. Now experts have identified that the source of neurotoxins is certain plants and trees. They have been felled for a long time. Therefore, the ability to self-destruct in biochemistry has evolved. As long as one feels danger, they will release toxic gas. But why does it only happen in the northeast? And it only lasted for 1 day. Forecasting by experts. This should be a warning from nature to us. It's like a rash. If we don't know the convergence yet, then there will be a series of rashes below. Sure enough, on a certain day in the park, everyone suddenly stopped again. This suicide feast is about to begin. This movie warns humanity of the power of nature. Earth is the home that humans rely on for survival. While being supplied, it is also constantly being plundered. When Earth's patience reaches its limit, what do you think will happen to humans? Just like Einstein said, if bees become extinct, so humans only have 4 years left to live.